So we are back again, but this time with the Survival Hunter. We're going to be looking at the best items that you can get in Tier 7, so that's Nax, VOA, Obsidian Sanctum, EOE, also known as Malagos, all on 10 and 25 man. We'll include any items that are classed as pre-raid, and of course any crafted BIS items. All of these have been run through a 3.3.5 version of Raw, so they're as accurate as they can be. We know as new sims come out from class discords and stuff like that, some of this may change. The tool I'm using, as everybody keeps asking every time we put one of these videos out, is only in alpha testing at the moment, but it will be released to the wider audience as soon as it's finished. What I will say before we start is you can actually get 4-piece tier 7 just from emblems. So for emblems of heroism, you can get your tier gloves and your tier chest. These will be the 200 eye level version. And for emblems of valor, for 75 emblems of valor, you can get the tier legs. And for 60 emblems of valor, you can get the tier shoulders. With that out of the way, let's crack on. So firstly, for the head, you're going to want your tier 7.5 head, which comes from Nax 25. So this is from Kel'Thuzad, the last boss in Nax. It gives you a nice amount of agility, intellect, stamina, crit, haste, and attack power. While we're looking at this, we might as well look at the set bonuses so you'll understand why we're not really going for the 4 set, although it can be seen as nice. Your 2 set gives your pet an additional 5% damage, and your 4 set increases your ranged attack speed by 20% while Aspect of the Viper is active. Now, Aspect of the Viper is your way of getting mana back, but ideally, you don't want to be sat in Viper too long. So if they're extremely long fights, it can potentially be useful, but hopefully it's not something you need to switch to particularly often anyway. For a second option, you can get a 226 head, which is actually the highest item level you can achieve in Tier 7, and it comes from Malagos, and that's Blue Aspect Helm, giving agility and intellect and stamina, of course, your main stats that you're after, and crit, attack power, and haste. Tier 7 would be another option, so this is just the head from Nax 10, so it's still from Kel'Thuzad, but this time on Nax 10. It gives you the same stats as the Tier 7.5 head, just less of all of them to represent the drop in item level from 213 for the 25 man and 200 for the 10 man. If you're low on hit, this could be an option because it is the same item level as your tier 7.5 head, and then you could get the 2 set from somewhere else. A crafted option would just be your engineering goggles, so 200 eye level, but very nicely itemized with attack power and crit, agility, stamina, intellect, and obviously all of these you get your meta socket, which is very important. For the neck, pretty much the same as everybody else because it's the highest item level neck that you're going to achieve in tier 7 because it's 226 eye level. The quest item actually comes from Nax from Sapphiron 25, which it will then send you into Malagos because this also acts as the key to be able to summon Malagos, so you need to, as a guild, kill Sapphiron before you can even summon Malagos, but then you kill Malagos, you hand in, and you get this neck. With attack power, crit, and armor pen, 42 agility, 63 stamina, and a blue socket. Another option would be the 10-man version of this, so instead of doing 25-man Sapphiron, this is 10-man Sapphiron. It's also worth noting that only one person in your raid can get this neck each week. Then you've got Gem of Imprisoned Vassals, which is actually Nax 10. It's 213 eye level because it comes from Kel'Thuzad, which is the last boss as mentioned before. But it's got crit, haste, and attack power. Overall, a really nice neck to tide you over until you get your 25-man neck. Or you got Icy Blast Amulet, so this could be a consolation prize if you don't get the quest item from Sapphiron. You might be able to pick this neck up with crit, haste, and attack power. But ultimately, you want that 226 neck. For shoulders, you're going to want your tier 7.5 shoulders, which come from Nax 25, with haste, crit, and attack power, and this is assuming that you've got the head, going to finish off your 2 set for your extra 5% pet damage. Another option is from Sarfarian, which is upstanding Spaulders, giving agility, stamina, and intellect. I'm going to stop saying agility, stamina, and intellect because every item we're going for has pretty much got agility, stamina, and intellect. But you get attack power, crit, and haste with a blue socket as well. So they're the same eye level as your tier 7.5 shoulders, but again, you want the shoulders for the tier set bonus. Another option would be your 10-man shoulders. So again, comes from Spaulders of the Lost Protector. This is the tier token from 10-man Nax with haste, crit, and attack power again. There is a pre-raid option on here just because they're itemized very nice and they're quite easy to obtain. So they're from Knights of the Ebon Blade Revered with stamina, intellect, and agility, and crit and attack power. For your cape, you're going to want Drape of Deadly Foe, which comes from Nax 25. So this is from Kel'Thuzad. It's going to be the highest eye level of cape that you can get in tier 7 because it's 226 with crit, haste, and attack power. A second option would be from Nax 10. This is a big drop in eye level. It's down to 200, but it's got crit, hit, and attack power, and this comes from Sapphiron 10. Or a pre-raid option, which is actually 213 eye level, so it's pretty decent, and it does only come from 25 Emblems of Valor, so you get Emblems of Valor from doing either 25-man raids or from doing your daily heroic quest each day, and this has got crit, haste, and attack power. I'd probably use the 25 emblem cape until I got the KT cape and wouldn't worry about anything else. And then from Sarfarian 10-man, you got Chest Guard of Flagrant Prowess, which is a 213 chest with 2 sockets, very nice, and it's got attack power, crit, and hit. And if you've noticed, we've not really had that much hit on stuff so far, so you are going to need the hit. Another option, which is almost identical to be fair, you're just swapping crit for haste and a little bit of a drop in intellect, but you can get your tier 7.5 chest, which you can have 2 shots at every week because yes, it drops in Nax 25, but you can also get it from VOA. Same applies for the 10-man chest you can get from Nax 10 or from VOA 10, and again, this would be an option until you get Chest Guard of Flagrant Prowess, or you can get a nice pre-raid chest from Argent Crusade Exalted with a lot of hit and a decent amount of attack power with a yellow socket as well. For the wrists, you can get Slime Stream bands from Nax 25, so this is from Grobulus. They are BOE, so you could pick these up off the auction house or buy them in a pug or do whatever you need to do to get them. But yeah, with hit, crit, attack power, and a blue socket, very, very nice. Or you got a pre-raid option, Arm Guard of the Tower Archer. Again, these are BOE, so they actually come from 60 Emblems of Valor, which people will be buying or selling in trade, you know, shouting out that they're selling a pair of BOE wrists. You'll tell them what wrists you want. In this case, you'd say you want the Mao agility wrists, and then bang, you've got them. So not really something I would personally waste 60 emblems on my main. I would try and get these either on an alt for my main or buy them off the auction house. There's a couple of pre-raid options here. So one from Kerastraza, which is just in a 5-man heroic with crit attack power. They are only 200 eye level. Ideally, you still want to get the emblem ones over these pre-raid ones, but they are still just an option just to carry you through. Or you've got giant main bracers, which are actually crafted by Leatherworking with attack power and armor pen. Not the ideal stats, but again, if you just want a decent pair of bracers early on, then these are do. For the gloves, like pretty much everyone who likes agility, Frosted Adroit Handguards. They're the highest eye level of gloves that you're going to get in tier 7, being 226. They're from Malagos. So Alex Straza's gift here, that is actually like the chest that you loot at the end after killing Malagos. Hit, crit, attack power, a lot of agility, decent amount of stamina as well, obviously. Unfortunately, it's just more or less everybody that can make some use of hit, crit, attack power, agility, it's BIS for. You know, ferals, rogues, warriors, rets, hunters, shamans, like they really are that good. So expect a lot of competition. Gloves of Calculated Risk from Patchwork in Nax 25 are another option with crit, hit, and attack power. Or Rusted Link Spiked Gauntlets, which are actually BOE, and they drop from Grand Widow Felina in Nax 10. These have got crit, hit, and attack power, and again, because they're BOE, you'd be able to buy them off the auction house. For the belt from Mayexner, you've got Torn Web Wrapping, which again, you're quite lucky in a way. If you've got a lot of gold hunters, you're very lucky because you can get so many BIS pieces just from the auction house. So yeah, Torn Web Wrapping, another BOE with crit, hit, and attack power. Very nice, 213 eye level. But if you haven't got that yet or can't afford it, then you've got Spectral Rider's Girdle from Gothic the Harvester. This is just in Nax 10. It is only a 200 eye level, so you're still better off getting Torn Web Wrapping as soon as you physically can. Or there's a couple of pre-raid options, like the 40 Emblem of Heroism belt with hit, attack power, and armor pen, or Sovereign's belt from a 5-man heroic with hit and attack power. And this comes from King Yimaron in Utgard Pinnacle Heroic. For the legs, you got Leggings of Fouled Escape from Gothic the Harvester in 25-man Nax. So these have got crit, hit, and attack power. Very nice legs, 213. Another set of legs that you could easily use in place of this would be just your tier 7.5, because again, you've got a couple of options of getting these, be it from VOA and Nax 25. They've got haste, armor pen, and attack power, so you're probably going to need to get some hit from somewhere else for losing the hit from Leggings of Fouled Escape. Or you got your 10-man version, again from Archivon in VOA on 10-man or from Nax 10. For your boots, Boots of Renewed Flight from Malagos, the highest eye level of boot you're going to get, because again, these are 226 eye level, so you're going to get the most agility, most intellect, most attack power, etc. from these over any other set of boots. But they got crit, attack power, and armor pen. You got Boots of the Great Construct, which come from Nax 25. This is from Sapphiron. It's a very good second option with haste, crit, and attack power, and you'd probably be using these up until the point you get your boots from Malagos. Or if you just want a nice pre-raid option from some Emblems of Valor, you can get some 213 boots with hit, attack power, and armor pen. For your rings, primarily, you're going to want strong-handed ring, because again, this is just going to get you to that hit cap with agility, stamina, haste, hit, and attack power. And then, like most people that can make use of this ring, this is your BIS, being Surge Needle ring, which strangely only comes from a 10-man. So this is from Malagos 10-man, and it's BOE. So yet another item you can buy from the auction house hunters. But it's going to be heavily contested, and you're going to see it hard reserved all over the place and very expensive on the auction house just because of its high demand. A couple of alternatives to this would be Great Ring of Collision from Obsidian Sanctum, so Sarfarian 10-man, with attack power, crit, armor pen, and a blue socket. Or Ring of Invincibility, which just comes from 25 Emblems of Valor with crit, haste, and attack power. If you happen to have made hit up somewhere else and don't need the hit from strong-handed ring, using Ring of Invincibility would probably be your best option. For your trinkets, again, something you can buy from the auction house, although it's going to be very expensive. Dark Moon Card Greatness with 90 agility and a 300 agility proc. Like I say, it's going to be expensive, so get out there and farm it yourself, or just have stacks and stacks of gold on your character. In your second slot, you're going to want Fury of the 5 Flights, which is a stacking 16 attack power buff, and it stacks 20 times, and this is from Sarfarian 25. Again, going to be quite a heavily contested item amongst most attack power users, so be ready to fight for it. Some alternatives would be Bandit's Insignia, which comes from Nax 25 from Sapphiron, giving you 190 attack power and a chance just to deal some arcane damage. You're only really using it for the attack power, and it would tide you over until you got Fury of the 5 Flights. Or Mirror of Truth, which is for Emblems of Heroism, says 25 here, ignore it, it's 40. It improves your crit by 84 and chance on melee and range critical strikes to increase your attack power by 1000. There is also an exact replica of it if Brewfest is on at the time, so Corran Diabrew, when you kill him, has got a chance at dropping the same trinket, but it's called Corran's Chromium Coaster. For your main weapon, it's the highest eye level weapon you're going to get, so of course it's going to give you the most attack power, Journey's End. You're going to upset every single feral and make them cry if you take it over them, so make sure you show your feral some love and let them take it first. It gives 87 agility, 228 attack power, big amount of crit, big amount of haste, really, really nice weapon. Another option would be Wraith Spear, which comes from Mayexna, or Black Ice, which is actually probably the better option. It's the higher eye level being 213, giving hit, haste and attack power, and that comes from Malagos 10-man. For your weapon, of course, you're going to want the KT-25 gun from Nax 25, Envoy of Mortality. It's going to be the highest eye level of gun that you can physically get in tier 7, so it's going to have the most damage on it, and you absolutely want to get it as soon as physically possible. Talking about any other options is almost redundant because this is the gun that you're going to strive to get in tier 7. But you could get Nerubian Conqueror, which comes from KT on 10-man with crit and attack power, or you can get Drake Mounted Crossbow, which is the nice pre-raid option from Ingvar the Plunderer, which is Utgard Keep Heroic, the 5-man. Or if you wanted a crafted option just to get straight into raids with, you can get the Nezingweri 4000 from Engineering. But ultimately, of course, you want Envoy of Mortality. It's going to give you the most damage. And like you can see, you can get so many 226 eye level pieces of gear, or things that you can just straight buy from the auction house. So you're going to have a great time gearing up in tier 7, and it shouldn't be a hard time, but depending on how much of this you want to buy, it could be quite an expensive time. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, like and subscribe. Roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.